Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. If this is your first time here, welcome. So glad you made it. Hopefully this video is not boring. Now, if you've seen my latest videos, you've noticed my SCX24 has undergone a little bit of a change. So it started life as this JLU Rubicon, and I did a lot of work to it, and I had a ton of fun with it. But then RC 4-wheel drive came out with a new product, and as soon as I saw it, I knew I had to have it. So in this video, we are going to be making a total overhaul to the SCX24. I know you've seen the title, so you know exactly what's going to happen, but we're going to change that Jeep into a Blazer. So here it is. You can see that it is far from stock. There's a lot in here that's really been changed to get it to look the way I want it to. I went to the hobby shop the other day and I picked up a Chevy C10 body. This is just the stock body from Axial. Obviously I've painted it myself. I've gone for a racing green from Tamiya. We're going to put that off to the side. And these are the parts we're going to be installing today. We have the CC hand front bumper, the rear bumper, and then we have this kit from Axial, which is the bumper slide. Here you can see the part number. This is going to give us all of the mounting hardware we need. And then the final piece, the one that I've been really looking forward to, is this truck topper, also from CC Hand. I also have these inner fenders, also from CC Hand. These things are so expensive, way more expensive than they need to be. But, you know, the level of detail, the quality is unmatched, and I knew when I saw them, just had to have them. An important thing to note is the Jeep Rubicon and the C10 both have the same wheelbase. So you can see there it perfectly lines up. If you have a deadbolt, we'll need a new set of links to make this work. But this is basically just a body swap. So we're going to slide everything out of the way, and we're going to start pulling everything off of here to make the switch. It's been pretty much stripped down to just the bare essentials. So we're going to leave in this battery tray, and the first thing we're going to do is we're going to put on the new front bumper. To do that, we'll be using the front bumper mount, and of course we have the CC Hand front bumper. All of these parts will be listed below in the description in case you have any questions. I am running the Emax, the upgraded Emax servo. It just has enough clearance on it, so that'll be perfect. I may go in later and do just a little bit of trimming. I can feel a little bit of binding, like on the servo ears and stuff. So this next thing we're going to install are these inner fenders. Now to do so, it's pretty straightforward. You just kind of line the holes up on the chassis. There's really only one way it can go if you follow the contours of the chassis. There's this little bar. This needs to go behind the rear shocks. So we're going to pull these rear shocks off just by undoing the top screw and get these on. All right, there we have front bumper and the inner fenders. No problems whatsoever going on. They feel like they're good quality material, nice and durable. Now, I've never used one of their front bumpers before. The roof rack on this Jeep is also from CC Hand, and it feels like it's the same material. This thing has survived multiple tumbles. There is a little broken piece back here. That's my fault, throwing it in a backpack without really taking care of it. But the roof rack itself has really survived quite a bit of abuse. So with that, I think we are now going to move on to the rear body mount. All of the pieces you need are included in that bumper set. So to get started, we are going to mount these chassis braces to the chassis before we do anything else. The next thing we want to do is take the other part of the bracket and mount it to the chassis mount. What we're going to do is we're going to tighten them, and then we're just going to back off just a little bit so that the mount moves nice and freely. So from here, we can now mount the body to the chassis. So to do that, we're going to run a couple of screws down through the bed of the truck into these two tabs here. And then we'll mount the bumper through these holes to these mounts. There you have it. The body is now mounted to the chassis. So what we're going to do is we're going to slip our screwdriver back in there, and we're going to remove these screws holding the body mount to the chassis. Now the reason I took this off, I'm going to move that off to the side, is because we're going to move on to our final piece that we need to mount. And that is the truck topper. I was afraid that since this is just plastic, it really wouldn't stand up to any big rollovers or anything, but this thing is thick and hefty. It's been reinforced here in the middle. I don't think this is going to have any issues whatsoever. It comes with these windows that we will be installing. So we're going to peel off the protective film. So the window slides into a slot here on the bottom, and then there are two tiny little Phillips head screws that need to go in to kind of sandwich them into the top. Okay, off screen I finished it all up. It's pretty fiddly work. It's not too difficult. Just make sure you have a really small screwdriver. Now the next step, of course, is to get it mounted to the body. Now to mount it, you will need to drill 6 holes into your body, unfortunately. Now 2 of these you can get to pretty easily. There's these 2 on top, and then there's 1 on each side right behind the cab. Now there's 1 back here as well that's going to be a little bit more difficult to get to. I think what we'll be able to do is to kind of measure back from the back of the topper and then the back of the bed to figure out more or less where we need to do it. So these will be very, very small holes. I have this little vice drill, pin vice drill I think they're called, off of Amazon. Now these aren't too expensive. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to line up where I want the body. Once you have the topper right where you want it, we're going to go ahead and drill straight down. And then to get these back holes, this one's going to be a bit more tricky. Looking through the window, we can kind of tell the hole is right about here on the back. So we're just going to kind of try and do our best to line it up. So we're going to put 2 screws into the top just to hold it in place. And then we can kind of tell, if we hold it up to the light a little bit, the hole is right about here. You can see just a faint, faint little mark on the cab. Now we can remove these screws again, line up where we drew our marks, and drill the hole. So now with these holes drilled, we can go ahead and mount the bed topper for good. If at any point you have any questions, there are instructions on the RC 4-wheel drive website on where to drill the holes and which screws specifically to use to mount it. It comes with 4 self-tapping screws which come through the body into the bed of the truck, and then it comes with 2 of these longer ones with nuts which go through the top here. And there you have the finished product. And I think it completely changes the look, gives it much more of a blazer look, which I absolutely love. Okay, one last change we need to make while we have the body off. This body mount was for the Rubicon. We're going to go ahead and remove that and install the C10 body posts. Now eventually I will be switching to magnets. However, I don't have any sort of mount just yet. I think I will be 3D printing one. So we're just going to go and remove this and put in the C10 mounts. With those in, we can now go ahead and attach the screws to the rear of the body and get everything mounted up. And there we have it. You now have a 1967 Blazer. It really isn't that hard to switch a Rubicon over to a C10. It's mostly just a new bumper mount, a rear body mount, and that's pretty much it. The links are all lined up nice and easy, so you don't have to worry about drive shafts or links. The wheelbase is spot on. And it really isn't too expensive of a mod if you do want to change the body. So there it is. Really not that hard. Like I said, you really only need a couple of parts. If you have the Jeep Rubicon and you want to convert it to the C10 body, all you really need is the bumper set and the body mounts and you're done. Obviously we did a little bit more than that. I really love this change. I love the look. I love the color, and I can't wait to get out and make more videos of it. Hopefully you've seen the latest ones. I'll link them up wherever. I love the look that this thing has now. Kind of got that rugged work truck, which I've always loved. And for me, it's really breathed some new life into this truck for me. Now I have a few videos planned using this truck, so if you want to see them, make sure you're subscribed, hit that bell notification. Liking the video is always a huge help with, you know, the algorithm and everything. But yeah, stay tuned. Hopefully in the next day or two, I'll have another driving video of this thing. And thanks for watching.